Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the Melhorn Fishing Podcast. I hope you're having a good day, whatever day it is that you happen to be listening to the show. I'm making a promise to you right now. This is not going to become a health and fitness channel, but the response to the podcast that I put out yesterday about my weight loss has been overwhelming. Both emails, text messages, comments online. By the way, love the comments online. I love y'all sharing your stories there and your struggles because it's motivation for other people. Crush 44 made a comment yesterday, and I read all these comments, by the way. Don't always get a chance to respond to all of them, but I read them. And he was talking about being 375 pounds, said he's really struggling. And I went into detail, you can read it in the comments, about he can hit 300 pounds within a few months. And he commented back this morning or a little bit ago and he said, "You really think 300 can be done in a few months?" I do, 100%. And listen, unlike some of the fitness gurus out there, I'm not selling anything, okay? I don't have gym memberships. I don't have supplements. I'm not selling a book. I don't have a program for this. This is just math, okay? For you folks that don't know, I'm going to go over something real quick in this just so you know. And the reason I'm doing this is because he talks about, again, this is tied to fishing and outdoors and living an outdoor lifestyle. He's talking about it's tough to get to bank fishing spots, places he wants to go to fish. And this is something that, translates over to the fishing world. I said this from the beginning. There, you are more apt to get out there if you feel good, feel comfortable, feel safe going and doing things. Tough getting those bank fishing spots. There may be some bank fishing spots you want to get to, but they may be a half-mile walk. They may be a mile walk. And I can remember a time thinking, man, I don't want to walk a mile. I remember thinking turkey and deer hunting, I don't want to walk a mile to do that. I don't even bat an eye at it now. He's talking about a kayak, being feeling safe in a kayak. Here's an interesting story. I've had some kayak deals offered to me. I always felt being in a kayak because being fat up top heavy. Listen, it ain't making fun of nobody. It's just the facts. You have a higher center of gravity doing that. It's not as safe in a kayak. This translates over to blowing leaves off the house the other day. Was up on the house, walking around. No type of tether or anything, blowing leaves. In the past, I have done that. I always felt a little bit uncomfortable being heavier up top because you got that in the backpack blower on. This time was nowhere near as bad. Maybe I'm getting dumber in my old age. I don't know. But the fact is this. Losing weight, if you need to do that and want to do that, makes your outdoor activities a lot more fun. And you'll go do it more. That's the big thing. That's the whole reason I bring this up. But let me give y'all some simple math for the folks that don't know. Basically, if you are 200 pounds, you need roughly 2,000 calories a day to maintain that body weight. If you are 300 pounds, you need roughly 3,000 calories to maintain that body weight. These are some loose rules of thumb here to keep in mind as you go through all this. There are about 3,000 calories in a pound. This is simple math. This is all BTUs and all that kind of fancy math stuff. So I tell you all that to say this. He said, can I really hit 300 pounds in a few months? I think you can do it in 6 months. And here's why. 75 pounds equals about 225,000 calories. Okay. So he's at 375. Let's just say his caloric intake is around 3,800 calories a day just to stay there. Not to lose weight, not to gain weight, just to maintain that body weight. So at that number, okay, if you cut your caloric intake back to 2,500 calories a day, which is actually probably more than I take in now, being around, I don't know, I'm 215, somewhere in there, okay? If he cuts it back to 2,500 calories a day, you're going to lose that 75 pounds in less than 6 months. And that's without a gym membership. That's without running and exercising and all this other crap you see on TV when people are going through all this stuff trying to shed this weight quickly. That is just with a low carb, no carb, ketogenic diet, or a carnivore diet. Carnivore is kind of the fast track to doing this. And there's a lot of good information out there. I'm going to put a link to Dr. Ken Berry. He is a physician, a medical doctor over in Tennessee. And let me tell you something about some of the doctors out there that you will see that will have some great information. And by the way, you need to vet it somewhat. There are some doctors that have either doctoral degrees, have reached to become a doctor, but they're not medical doctors. Or they're in a line of medicine like chiropractic work or veterinary medicine. I'm not kidding. There are people out there that are doing that use the title doctor. That gives them credibility. Do some vetting. Dr. Ken Berry is a physician out in, he's a family practitioner out in Tennessee. Has some very good information on a ketogenic carnivore diet. And learn for yourself. There's way too much to go into here. But on that type of a diet, Crush 44, you can do it. I guarantee it. Get your mind right first, though. And I said this in yesterday's podcast. Don't go into this, halfway. Don't go into this, dipping your toes into the water. You got to go into it full force. And the first thing is to get your mind right. Until your mind is right, there's no point in doing it, because you will get down the path a little bit and then you'll quit. And then, but in your case, and I'll say this for anybody who is severely overweight, you're going to see results a lot quicker. Okay, you're going to see them a lot faster, and it will be amazingly fast if you stick to this. The thing with me, like now, if I try to go from 215, 220 down to 200, it'll be a lot slower, it'll take a lot more work. But when you're, 300 pounds, 350, 375, 400, it's going to come off very quick. You got to get the mind right. One app I would suggest, and again, this isn't sponsored. I have to just thought about this, look at my phone to find this thing. This is one that I use to actually keep track of some of the calories that was going on. It's called Keto Diet, Keto Diet. That's kind of what the little app thingy looks like. And it's a very good way to keep track of your food for a while. I suggest doing this. You won't be doing this forever, but do it initially. It's a very good way to figure out how many calories you're taking in, how many carbs you're taking in, and where you're getting your protein and your fats from. And it's a good way to kind of just get you into the lifestyle. After you do it a while, you'll kind of be able to look at something and realize, oh, that's that's 10 ounces of, sirloin, or that's 10 ounces of hamburger. By the way, buying the cheap burger now is a good thing. You know how before we always thought 90-10 was the best? Get that 70-30 stuff. Greatest thing going. But anyway, yes, Crush 44. You can drop 75 pounds, I think, in less than 6 months. And here's what's going to happen. And I've told people about this. And I say, go into it. Don't worry about exercise. You'll never hear that from one of the gym rats, okay? You're going to lift weights and crush it and run and all. Don't kill yourself with that yet. Once you start losing some weight, once you drop 25 pounds, you'll want to go do more. When you drop 75 pounds, dude, you go from 375 to 300. It's life-changing, okay? You'll want to get up and walk some. You'll be motivated to do more. And that's the thing I tell people. Don't worry about the workout stuff to begin with. It's great if you want to do it. Don't try to pile too much on your plate, pun intended here, in the beginning. Just go with changing your mind and control what you eat, and it will make a difference. I promise you, this is not going to turn into a weight loss fitness channel. I'm going fishing this afternoon. It's cold here. We've got some overnight in the 20s. Our highs are only in the 40s. It's a little unseasonably cool right now for December where we're at, but I've got to figure out what's going on with some fish. Got some guide trips coming up next week, and the fish have been hanging around river channel ledges. They went straight into like a winter mode, even though a couple of weeks ago our water wasn't down. Our temperatures are dropping now. It's into the upper 50s. I'm almost willing to bet it's probably going to be mid-50s today when I get out there, just because, again, that daily mean temperature, a little bit of science here, you get that high, you get that low, there's a mean that is kind of in between there, and that's kind of where generally your water temperature is. So, as we get, less and less, we're going to be getting less and less daylight here for another, we're just first day of meteorological winter, almost to the calendar. We're in 21st, so we got a little bit to go. But and then we'll just be into the heart of winter. But fish can be caught. And hey, listen, if you get into the weight loss stuff and doing some exercise, it's a great time to get out and do some walking too. But yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the feedback. I love the positive. There were so many people that have done stuff similar. They commented on it. Read the comments if you're interested in doing it. And like I said, you'll get the truth here because I ain't selling anything on this. So appreciate it. Catch you guys out on the water.